Hi, and welcome to episode 6 of the Corporate Show with me, Manjit Niji, your host. This week, I'm switching up a bit. So this week, what I thought we'd do, we're still going to talk about training. We are going to talk about training of a different perspective around the mental well-being and the physical well-being of individuals and how it can impact the performance of while you're at work. And for those of you who are employers, why it's important for you to understand that your employees need to be fit mentally and physically, not just have a raft of certifications to improve them and your organization. So with that in mind, I've got somebody special waiting to come on and have a chat to us. His name is Juggy Sidhu. You may have heard of him. He's called the Indian Body Coach. So I'm just going to introduce him. Juggy, how are you? And thank you for coming and having a conversation with us.
I appreciate you having me on, and I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. So we've known each other not that long, to be fair, about 5, maybe 6 weeks, something like that. And what's kind of come across to me, having had conversations with you, is you're not just there to talk about the physical side of the training, but the mental capacity of people as well, how to improve them, improve their emotions, and how they actually deal with things. So how can somebody's mental well-being and physical well-being be connected firstly, and then secondly, how does it help organizations and individuals in the work environment?
So there's so many different angles I could go into that question with. I think the first way to think about this is the way that I look at health, because obviously we want our employees, we want individuals to be very healthy to begin with. If you're healthy, you're going to perform better. Your cognition is going to be better. The way you feel, your motivation, your energy is going to be better. And if you're in that place, then obviously your productivity is going to go through the roof. But if you look at it, if you look at health and you actually break that down, we can actually turn that into the health triad. So there's 3 aspects of health that need to be catered for you to be in an optimal place. And that's the physical. That's obviously how we feel, how we move. That's our ability to kind of run and not get out of breath, let's say. Then you've got your physiological. So that's how your body kind of turns energy into energy. So how it breaks down food, how it digests it, and how it turns it into actual ATP, which is the usable form of our energy system. And then we've got the psychological, which is always missed out. So even when we're looking at mental health, a lot of the psychological things, people still relate to bad mental health or things that are bad for you mentally. But we're looking at the positive things that we can bring to our mind that, again, makes us optimal, makes us perform better. So things like mindfulness practice doesn't just need to be sitting there, meditating, going, it's actually just taking a moment to step back from the world and just say, be present in the moment, see how you feel, see where your breath is at, see where your mind is at, and just kind of compartmentalize your thoughts and bring it into one. So all these different factors then relate back to, again, how you're feeling about yourself, your energy levels, your productivity, and your ability to be at your very best. But there's more that I could break down to that. When you think about physical, physical, so when somebody says stress, what is stress to you, Angie?
Turn your tables on me now. Yeah. Stress to me is I just can't cope with things. There's too much to do. Maybe there's a lot of demands on me from the family, from managers, directors, that kind of thing. So having too much to do all at once, and then I just feel like I can't do anything.
So there's that level of overwhelm. There's that level of the thought process of that everlasting to-do list that just never really seems to end. So how does that stress then impact on an individual? So this is the really crucial bit. That stress takes a hold of us. So especially when it's chronic, because if you're going into work every day and you're stressed, that starts to play a role in your health. So you'll probably start to notice your digestion isn't as good as it used to be. This is one thing I hear all the time. I used to be able to eat that food fine, but now I don't seem to be able to handle it. So that in itself is a big sign that stress has taken its toll on you over time and it's impacting your digestion. So that restlessness, that ability not to focus, so that's going to obviously disadvantage your cognition. Then it's going to start impacting your sleep, because you're going to go home, you're not going to be able to actually get a restful sleep. So all these different things that are happening mentally then start having a hold on your energy levels. You feel it internally, you feel it within your body. You can sense stress. You'll also see this posturally. As you get stressed, you will start to round, your shoulders will start to come in. You're trying to protect those vital organs. Your body doesn't know the difference between your boss being annoyed at you and a saber-toothed tiger chasing you. Your body does not know the difference, so it reacts the same. It kind of prepares you for that fight or flight response. So you start to like really, hunch over. Your hamstrings get tighter, enabling you to run faster. But if you think about that again, physically, your hip flexors start to loosen up. Your hamstrings are getting tighter. Your posture is really obviously at a worse position. But as soon as that happens, that also then triggers in your mind, you're in a stressed out state. Be aware of everything. So good things might be coming into your life, but because you're in that place of stress, you're not actually able to accept them in, or you're not in a position to understand that there's a positive thing coming, positive things actually available to you, because you're trying to block everything out and protect yourself. So it's such an impactful thing across so many different spectrums, but you've got to be able to step back and be mindful of it, which is, again, that's why we practice on the triad of health, rather than just trying to give somebody here's a nutrition plan or here's a training plan, because it doesn't fix the root cause.
How does it impact the performers at work? I mean, you may have had corporate clients and so on come to you. How does it impact their performance?
It's incredible. So there's one guy always springs to mind whenever it comes to performance. So imagine if you're feeling physically fitter, you're feeling healthier, you've got more energy, your cognition's in a better place, you're able to compartmentalize your work better, you're feeling more confident, so you're communicating better. Like you're speaking to your boss in a different tone and he recognizes it. When he first started working with us, he was about 35 kilos overweight. But that weight wasn't just weight, it was also impacting his health. So he was almost type 2 diabetic, he had cholesterol problems, high blood pressure. Within the space of 18 months working with us, he got promoted 3 times, to the point that they actually had to find a new position within the company that didn't exist to accommodate his newfound energy. And it's just incredible when you think about it. It wasn't just that physical weight he was carrying, but all of the other things that was happening internally that you can't see, and also what was happening in here, which changed. And that allowed him to just grow rapidly.
That's astounding that he got promoted, 3 times in the space of 18 months. It just goes to show that while he was shifting the weight physically, he was also losing it from him mentally as well, and improving his mental stamina as well, to push himself forward and to be able to do better in his role.
The other thing with that is, that communication, we talk about communication quite a lot, especially within an organization. You need to be able to voice what's on your mind. You need to be able to voice your opinion. But if you're physically not feeling in your best space, and mentally you're not in your best space because of what you're looking like and what you're seeing in the mirror, and your confidence is shot, think about how that will then correspond to the way that you speak to your management or speak to your team. They'll be able to pick up on that low energy. That lack of self-belief then comes across through your voice. So people aren't hearing your ideas. People aren't accepting your thoughts. And because of that, that's going to limit your ability to grow. That's going to limit your business's ability to grow and your team's ability to see you as an effective leader. So all of these things combine.
So do you, or have you ever gone into a corporate environment to do talks around this kind of thing? Because I think it would be really, really beneficial. Because I know where I've delivered the service management training that I do, and I've been to organizations, sometimes you can walk in and you can actually feel a wall of stress coming towards you. You think, oh my God, I'm glad I don't work here. Other times you can walk in and it's just so relaxed, everybody's chilled, and they're just getting on what they're doing, but there's actually a buzz about the place.
Yeah, so the corporate experience that I've got in terms of delivery, it's more towards people that are already aware of this stuff, it's great because they're already aware that, okay, I can augment my understanding. What I should be in are people that don't really pay attention to this sort of stuff, because I bring my whole team to the table. So we've got injury rehab specialists, we've got psychologists that work on our team, we've got cardiovascular health specialists that work on our team, performance coaches. So all of these different people, female physiology coaches. So we've got all these different aspects to what we can bring to a team. But I would absolutely love to be in that kind of corporate space, discussing these things, because it's not just my thoughts, there's science behind this. And that's what I want to bring to the table, because all of the things that we do is obviously evidence-based. And I want to combine the approach so that people can get the most out of themselves.
I think it's really needed. It is really, really needed, because you've got, and I love Joe Wicks. Everybody, I mean, what's not to love about him? He's just your normal guy who's worked really hard and got to where he's wanted to get to. You know, the fact that he's doing all this stuff with the kids in the morning and the parents are joining in is absolutely brilliant. We also need somebody like yourself or you to go in to organizations and have these conversations with HR, and then have conversations with the different teams. And it's not just for the people who are working on in a busy environment, right? That's just one part of an organization, but it's all the way up and down that chain, from the person sitting on the board to the person actually downstairs running on the ground and doing the practical stuff, while the people at the top are making all those decisions. Because all the way through, there's going to be levels of stress. There will be unhealthy eating, you know, your posture. And so, I mean, I know I've been there. I was so stressed out in one of the jobs. I had to leave after 9 months because it was that bad. My arm used to shake, my hair was falling out, and I didn't want to leave my flat. And that was all through stress. Yeah. And I eventually, through getting acupuncture and mindfulness and that kind of stuff, and got myself back together and got going. So it is really important that employers pick up on these signs that are going on within their teams. I mean, how do you feel about that?
No, absolutely. And I think this is the thing. I work with a lot of individuals because obviously our approach is so specific to the one person that we work with. But I think I have a conversation with one person and I can pick up immediately where their biggest stress is, because that's the thing they'll talk about the most. So unless businesses actually change their mindset, or management change their mindset towards the people that they're working with, it's always going to come to a bit of a block in terms of their progression and performance. If we sat down and we actually had these deeper level conversations with people, rather than, you okay, how's your day going, what you've been up to this weekend, these are nice questions. They're kind of decent conversation starters, but they never really get into the root cause of how somebody's feeling. And when you can get to that root cause, you can start to help them and support them and fix that and make them better people, not just employees, but make them feel better, make them happy, make them feel more fulfilled. And when you bring that to somebody's life, it's game changing, whether you're a business, whether you're just a friend, whether it's something for your business growth, or because you want to give back to your employees. All of these things are crucial.
I mean, I can vouch for the services which you guys provide. Okay, I'm one of your clients, and it's been 5 weeks since I started working with yourself and Ruby, and it's transformed the way that I eat, the way that I feel about myself. You know, there's so much stuff. My mindset has completely changed. I've been through this diet before. You know, I was constantly on a diet. I was fine when I was in Birmingham. I don't know what it was about moving down south, but something in south is like, you have to be on a diet. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like through those years, I was constantly on one diet or another. It's not about the diet. It's about the whole thing. It's about those three things, like you said. And now I'm coming at it from a completely different angle. And I just feel so much better. I feel happier. I look happier. I'm calmer. You know, I'm making decisions from a place of calm rather than a place of being erratic and overly emotional about things. So I know how much what you do, because of the way you guys tackle it, how impactful it is on me as an individual, and not just me, but then my family around me is going to have an impact on them. So therefore it's going to have an impact on my work. And I work for myself, but if I was working in an organization, it would then have an impact on the people who are around me at work as well. So I think it's really important that you guys are able to get in to organizations, you know, and hopefully this little video that we're doing, it will help you to get there. And whoever's watching, whichever employer is watching, you need to take care of your employees, not just get them the certifications. That's really, really important and vital to run your organization. We all completely get that. But also, you know, as a former employee, it's really important that you take care of my health as well, because I'm not always able to, because I'm so busy trying to meet the deadlines and so on. And it's really difficult for me to like put myself in that space. So we need supervisors, team leaders, managers, directors, CEOs, CFOs, whoever. Don't just think about mindfulness. That's just one element, because that's all over corporate organization. Those mindfulness is bringing the other elements into it as well. So, you know, I mean, Juggy, where would people start with all of this? How would an organization get behind your ethos, really?
I think it would start with right at the very top. Like, they need to be aware of how important these aspects are in their lives. And it's funny because a lot of the people we take on are CEOs of their own company. A lot of the people we work with are CEOs, so they understand the importance of this for themselves. And once they get that kind of feeling of, oh, I actually feel healthier, I feel fitter, I feel better than I've ever felt probably in the last 15 to 20 years, that's when it's going to start to change, because now they're starting to evolve. They'll realize the importance of this same journey for everybody that's kind of below them or working with them in the same organization. So from my perspective, change from the top and allow it to filter down. Obviously, human resources is going to play a big role in this, I feel. I think if they can take this into their kind of system and build around this, I think that would be crucial.
So, I'm running out of time. Unfortunately, we could be talking for a long time. I say this every week when I'm talking to somebody. We could carry on talking for ages, which we can do. So I want to thank you for coming on and being interviewed and passing your message out there. So how can people get hold of you? So if there could be some manager or director or even an individual, how can they get hold of you? Obviously through me, but how can they directly get through you?
I think the best way is juggysidhu.com or info@juggysidhu.com if you want to email in. Obviously, Instagram is the hotbed of content and information. So at the Indian Body Coach, I think those three would be the best methods of communication.
So thank you very much again, Juggy, for taking the time and coming on board and just spreading your message. And thank you to everybody who's watching. I really appreciate it. If you do want to get hold of Juggy, he's giving you the details. If not, just come through me and I can pass the details on to you, or just give you Juggy's contact details, which will be fine. So thank you again for watching, and watch out for next week, because you never know who's going to pop up on the corporate show. It might not be who you expect it is. So take care, and remember to like, subscribe, share if you think this is useful for somebody else, and also hit the bell icon. That way you'll know when the new episodes are coming up. So I'll see you next week, and thank you again, and take care.